Welcome to the show. We hope this should be the Monster Energy preview for the SMX playoffs. We're doing this live for the first time on YouTube because everybody's doing shows like this where it's a bunch of dudes just talking about motocross on Zoom. I think JT and I have a show like this. I think Steve Matthes has about 5 shows like this. So what can we do to be different? Well, we didn't want to go to Budds Creek at 6 in the morning and try to shoot it before the final round like we did at Monster Energy Supercross, so we're trying to do it live on YouTube. I'm Jason Weigandt. That is Jason Thomas. That is Steve Matthes. And our big question, producer Ripper Rob Foulbark, can you actually see this on YouTube right now? He's saying I'm not seeing it. So,
here we go. Hold on.
All right.
No, we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
We're on. Okay, we are on YouTube right now. All right, wave if you can see us back home. So the three of us been doing this show basically post-race since 2011. And we just keep trying to up the ante as the playoffs near because Steve Matthes, as you know, this is the most prestigious championship in the sport upcoming for the next 3 weekends, the Super Motocross World Championship. Have you caught the fever, Steve Matthes?
No. If you try to tell me this 3-race gimmicky points thing is equal to a Supercross title or a Motocross title, I will jump off a building. Well, it's actually, might make people happy.
I'll say it.
Listen, it's fine. We're in year 3 of this SMX deal. It's cool. I like it. I have some gripes that we can get to now or later, depending on what you want to do. It's very cool to see all the money going to teams and riders. I love that part of it. I like the format of 2 main events. I think it's pretty exciting at the different venues. Again, I have some gripes. And again, when you tell me that Haiden Deegan is it would be 5 times.
5 times and going for 6 250 titles.
Yeah. No, he's not. Nope. Not in my world. Not in anybody's world. This is a cool deal. Nobody mentions Eli Tomac's Triple Crown championships over the years. They don't count for anything. Even Eli didn't know he was a champion at one time. So, again, taking the positives, I like it. It's exciting, good money, cool to watch. Does it mean much? No.
I want to thank our sponsors for making this video possible. That's Monster Energy, Fly Racing, Motosport, Maxima, and Engine Ice. Engine Ice now on board. We'll do some awards based on those sponsors later in the show. We'll also take your questions because Rob says he can actually see this on YouTube. All right, we've broken some ground here. First time ever. JT, as much as you probably want to say that this is the most important thing because Steve said he'll jump off a bridge if you say it, tell me why these 3 races do actually matter in your humble opinion. And yes, we do a show all year explaining why these races matter.
Well, I think when you look over the course of the history of the sport, we've always talked about this kind of grand national championship idea, combining both series to see who was the best across both disciplines, big picture in the entirety of the sport. Well, this is as close as we've ever gotten to that. And these are the playoffs of what we have seen all year long. No different than any other sport. Every other sport, you combine the results, you narrow that down to the playoffs, and then we see what's what over the course of a shorter run than the entire season. They don't hand out MLB championships over the course of 162 games. Guess what? You go into a playoff series that is a shorter, smaller sample size, and whoever comes out of that wins the championship. Ask the New England Patriots in 2011 how their regular season mattered in the end. Guess what? The Giants had a pretty awful regular season, and they were the Super Bowl champions. This is no different than that. I just think this is the new normal, and if you get hot at the right time, guess what? You can walk away with an SMX World Championship and $1 million for your trouble.
Yeah, we're waiting for that to happen because honestly, if you look at the end, Deegan and Jett Lawrence have won the titles the first 2 years, so it looks procedural. I'm still waiting for the short sample size to result in some chaos. Now, actually, it was close in the 250s the first year. Oh, JT, go ahead, make your statement.
Well, we've seen it, right? In the end, yes, Deegan won out and Jett won out, but the way we got there, there's no way you can't say it was anything but chaotic. Jordan Smith almost won the inaugural year out of nowhere. Yeah. Just because he had a really strong opening moto at the finale. We weren't talking about him at all. I remember it coming through my earpiece that Jordan Smith was now in the running to win this thing. And I was like, wait, what? Look at Hunter Lawrence. He looked like he was a shoo-in to win in 2023. He ended up not only losing the $500,000 championship prize, he ended up walking away with $16,000. It was a $484,000 swing at the finale for Hunter Lawrence. So I think if you're looking for chaos, you just have to go one or two layers below the surface off the headline, and it was there for the taking.
All right, so Steve, the big question this year, is it going to be chaotic? Because, okay, when this was announced, it was myself and a guy named Daniel Blair at the press conference when they announced this in the fall of 2022. I was talking about this with JT the other day. Deegan wasn't even a pro yet, and Jett was long before we were thinking about him racing a 450. And then flash forward a year later, and Deegan's a pro, and Jett has a perfect 450 season under his belt, and they're the favorites going in. They're the favorites when it was over. They were the favorites last year, and they won again. It's almost like the timing. If Deegan and Jett didn't exist, which they wouldn't have if this started 1 year earlier, maybe it would have looked different. But does it going to look any different this year? Or is it, stamp it, we've already got the two champions. We already know who they're 99% going to be?
I mean, it's motocross, super motocross, anything can happen. But no, they are heavily favored to defend their titles, right? In both classes. It's hard to see how anybody could top these two guys. They've been great all year. They look fantastic. The format doesn't hurt them at all with two races. We've seen some over the years at Triple Crowns, not so much at these super motocross, but at Triple Crowns, we've seen even an elite guy have a 6th or a 7th in the first moto, and then they win the next one. They take their spot, and next thing you know, they're first overall. And granted, that's 3 main events compared to 2 for SMX. But, yeah, the format doesn't hurt them. The tracks don't hurt them because both of them are amazing indoors and out. So it's really hard to see outside of, an Eli Tomac Achilles injury out of nowhere, really hard to see either guy not defending their title in my eyes.
We're going to talk seeding here and how this works. So Jett, I believe, was the 6th seed last year because he missed a ton of motocross time with the thumb injury, and then he was not a good seed the previous year because he didn't even race 450 Supercross. This year, somehow he comes in second. JT, the last couple of weeks ended up being absolute chaos, at least for the seeding, and we can say that last year the Lawrences tied for the title. 1 point either direction would have swung the thing, and it's darn close in the seeding this year.
It is, and you really don't know how it's going to go. There's so much that goes on. We have an escalating points structure. So I kind of look at the first round as doesn't always matter all that much. Like Jett had an atrocious first round in 2023. Hunter, the same. Both of them looked like they were very burnt out from their Pro Motocross championships that year. And I'll just say it, a little disinterested at the opener. They came back with a vengeance later on. And Hunter was an injury away from probably winning that 23, and Jett did win. So I think the seeding definitely matters. But when I really look at it, round 2, instrumental. Round 3 could not be more important to how this thing goes. So seeding matters. Jett came from 6th last year. Chase Sexton finds himself 6th this year. But it's who's going to win rounds 2 and 3 that I think in the end, that's what it really comes down to. You've got to be consistent at the opener. Don't do a lot of damage in the opener, and then excel at round 2 and put a stamp on it in round 3, and that will do what you need to do.
I think here's the key. I'm going to go to you, Steve, on this. We maybe had some questions about Deegs and Jett in the first year because they were still relatively new guys. We don't have questions. I guess really the drama revolves around others now. Even last year, Jett was coming back from a thumb injury and fast. This year, he's not. So let's talk about some other guys in the field. You said Chase Sexton, JT. Steve, where are we? Where do we think we're going to be with Chase Sexton? Because there's a video of him. He's prepping for the playoffs. KTM put out a PR today. Aaron Plessinger's out, but Sexton is back. Is he really back? Like fully all in, locked in, back? Or are there question marks about Sexton with KTM right now?
Well, the one thing, listen, if there wasn't so much money up for grabs, I would question Chase Sexton's dedication to this thing. He's got Motocross to Nations coming up. That's massively important to him at Ironman. But there's a lot of money on the line. So I think these guys, even though they're all millionaires, the top 5 or 6 guys, they're all millionaires or multimillionaires, they still really care about the money. So with Chase Sexton, I mean, I think he'll be top 3. I don't think he's going to beat Jett, but I think he's going to be in the mix. He'll be hungry to win some money. Is he going to absolutely die to win this thing and send it and maybe hurt his MXDN chances with an injury or a crash? No, I don't think so. But just Chase being Chase Sexton, he can ride around and get top 3, I think, all day long, right? And then he's got the Motocross of Nations to think about. So, yeah, I think Chase will be right in the mix because of the money. But on the other hand, I don't know if he'll kill himself to win this thing.
Are you worried at all, JT? So just so people don't, somehow if you forgot, he was riding awesome at Washougal and Ironman. Then he had a huge crash. He did hurt his shoulder a little bit. We heard he even had to take a week or so off the bike. He was legitimately hurt. But look, I don't think the feelings between he and KTM, and he is leaving everybody. He's going to Kawasaki next year. I don't think the feelings were great before that, and they weren't helped by that. Are you worried at all, JT, that the Sexton KTM headed toward a breakup in about a month could affect his racing?
There is a concern for sure, and we won't know how engaged he is and where his motivation lies until we show up at the opener and kind of see. But I would say the most important things are he needs to start fast. He needs to start fast, literally with his starts, and he needs to qualify well before that to, I think, continue like the push forward. If he qualifies poorly, he gets bad starts, and he finds himself fighting in the backside of the top 10. I think it's going to be really hard for him to snap out of that because he's going to see the end of this road coming quickly. And he's going to be like, shouldn't even be here. I don't want to be on this team and motorcycle anymore. We all know he's changing. But I think if things go well early on, then he'll see the upside of that. And the momentum's going to swing either direction. So I think he needs to make sure that swings his way early on and not let the negative thoughts creep in.
So you're saying if round 1's bad, that's the fork in the road.
Yeah, I think it'll be really hard to come back from a bad opening round for him. Yes.
He's going to be well rested. He's got some time. He's between the banged up at Paula, then the shoulder injury.
Yeah.
He's coming in like pretty fresh, I would think.
Well, I think that was his goal actually when he took all this time banged up off of Pro Motocross. We're talking Chase Sexton here, that the previous years he was the number 1 seed, but he'd also raced all year. And I think he's like, these guys are attacking me and I'm kind of done with my season and they're coming in fresh. He wanted the reverse tactic this year and it would have worked. He could have been 2nd or 3rd in the seeding, but that Ironman crash ended it. So now he's behind on points, but he is fresh. We'll see how that plays out. There's other drama of riders we want to talk about. To shift to the 250 class for a second, there was also drama with Tom Vial, Sexton's teammate, who did not race the second moto Ironman because of a problem with the shock. And do we have enough time to even get into Jorge Prado here? Or
no.
Not even enough time.
No, we do not.
We do not. Okay. Fair. The reason I brought those guys up, there's another superstar rider capable of winning this title and races who is leaving his team and going to another team next year. And you have not heard any drama from him. He's still trying. He's still testing the motorcycle. He's still trying to win. Props to Eli Tomac, the class way to do it. Have either of you seen any sign at all that Eli's mailing it in because he won't be on a Yamaha next year? I have not seen any signs of that. Have either of you?
No, and I heard he's been testing in Florida this week.
Right.
Testing for
kudos to you,
playoff
Eli
round.
Tomac.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah. I just, Steve, I feel like Tomac has to be given credit here because we always follow the drama. So when Vial's leaving to go race a Honda at MXGP next year, doesn't race this final moto at Ironman, people want to talk about that. The Prado thing people want to talk about. Sexton leaving people want to talk about. There's nothing to say about Tomac. He's trying to win in his very last races on a Yamaha, staying, going. He doesn't care. He wants to win and he wants to make the money.
Yeah, he mentioned that last year. It was a really funny moment in the press conference where everyone was kind of complaining about the long year, and Eli's like, hey, man, it's a lot of money. It's great to be here. I thought that was really funny. Props to Eli Tomac. He's signs a massive contract to do a job, and then he does the job that he's paid to do. Jorge Prado and Tom Vial should look into that. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Weege, can you tell me where Eli's going to start? Because then I'll tell you how SMX is going to go, because his weird starts that seem to be cured on a Yamaha are back to being kind of erratic. And so I don't know. Like, it's short races, 20 minutes. Are they 20 minutes? 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Do we know?
Yeah.
Okay. They're 20 minutes. He cannot come through the pack at an SMX like he can in motocross or even Supercross. He can get into the top 5 and maybe a third, but he can't win this thing. So if you tell me, Weege, how his starts are, I'll tell you how he does.
What do you think? That's, I hate to say, pretty sharp, JT.
Yeah, I think, I think about 2024, and he came in much more rested. And you could say Jett Lawrence the same. They were both coming off injuries. And I think that matters at this point of the season. I think you've heard about Justin Cooper talk about, man, it's been a long year, and you struggle to maintain intensity the longer the season goes on. And those guys brought it. Eli Tomac and Jett Lawrence had that fire at the opening round last year, but I think they came in fresh. So I think that's what Tomac's battling a little bit, is he's been out there a long time now, and that all that excitement, I'm coming back, I'm going to shock the world, I'm coming in hot. It's not really the same dynamic. He's been racing. He's, battle tested. That helps. He's got a lot of gate drops, but I just don't think the excitement is the same for him. So it's almost the same as Sexton, where if things start poorly, I could see them being mediocre for him. And mediocre could be third or sixth, but I just don't think with a bad start, you're going to see this epic charge through the pack that we've seen Eli Tomac do over the course of his career. I think it's going to look a little bit more like the second moto it did at Budds Creek, because we have a really deep field coming back for this opening round. And it's going to be tough. These tracks are really hard to pass on because there's not a lot of separation. So that's going to be another challenge, is to get forward if you're in the back. Tomac can do it. I just don't know that all the pieces of the puzzle are there for him to do it.
Yeah, like you look at the HRC guys.
Go ahead, Steve.
You look at the HRC.
Yeah.
We look at the HRC guys in the starts, right? I mean, we can pretty much say, well, they should grab production bikes because apparently production bikes are better. But,
okay.
I mean, you could pretty much – Hunter did not get a start at Budds Creek first moto. I don't know what happened there. But other than that, man, you can pretty much say these two brothers are going to be top 5 off the starts, if not higher. Guaranteed, stamp it every single main event, right? They got it going on. So, Eli, you cannot say that. Could he get to third? Sure. But if I put the HRC guys and Chase Sexton up there, I don't think Eli can come from the back and pass those 3 guys from the back in a shorter race. I just don't see that. So now, if Eli starts behind that, now that's a 4th. And then we got the Suzuki German guy coming back, which we'll touch on. So, dude, he's got to get him.
Would you say that Kenny is – I would say Tomac's on better form than Kenny is right now, though.
Yeah, but if Kenny gets 1-2 off the start, puts in 5 or 6 heater laps, and Eli's 10th coming from the back, can Eli get him? Maybe. I'm not saying you can't, but like Kenny's MO is, I'm going to start and run with the guys for 3-4 laps and then drop back, right?
Well, I would say that for Tomac, if he's not standing on the podium, it's not a successful weekend period anyway. Like if you told him
I agree.
he got 5th or 7th, he doesn't care. Neither of those are acceptable. So he's probably just shoulder shrug at both of those anyway.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? It has been surprising to see Eli. I don't go to press conferences, but I do watch them. I don't know if you guys heard that.
I have.
Eli's been more content with a third than in many other years.
I think he understands how tough it is right now. Like, listen, if you ask the guys that race guys like Jett or Hunter, or they know how good they are. Like, these guys are incredibly respectful of what they're racing against. They know that they're racing against one of the best they've ever raced against. And so I think the bitterness of losing is a little bit lessened because of the challenge that they're at in a later stage of their career. If Tomac's 23 and he's going up against Jett, I don't think you would see any sort of contentment with not winning the way that you might right now. I think it's just a different dynamic due to the stage of their career and due to who they're racing against.
Let me throw another angle on that at you, JT. When you feel like you didn't perform at you didn't ride as well as you could, or with Tomac, he has weirdo rides where the back of the bike's too low and he gets arm pump. That's frustrating. When you feel like, hey man, everything was pretty good today. I rode well. I can't really complain about my own performance. Those other guys were just good. Does that actually make it a little harder to swallow than I didn't bring my best stuff today? Because I feel like the last couple nationals, like Unadilla, he was happy because I think he's like, for me, that was about as good as I could expect myself to be, and it was third.
Yeah, I think, he has so much experience that he's a very good gauge of his individual performance. And if he gives it everything he has, and that's just a touch off of Jett, or maybe it's not, maybe it's a win, I think he's able to qualify that in its own uniqueness, right? He can put that in a box and say, forget about the result. I rode well or I didn't. Hunter Lawrence is incredibly good at that. Hunter may get third or he may win, but if he felt like he executed as well as he could, he can deal with that and be happy with both results. I would say the same thing. Honestly, Jett does the same thing. If you see the races where he has battled Tomac and lost, I don't know that I've ever seen someone so happy to have lost a race before. Think about the San Diego race. There have been times where Jett came over and laughing and congratulating. I just think there's a lot of mutual respect amongst these guys right now, maybe more so than we've ever seen. Like I think the older guys, the old guard would probably throw up in their mouth about the way that these guys congratulate each other, because there was so much more animosity back then. But this is just how things are these days. Like there's not a lot of, hate's a strong word, but like the ill will and the competitiveness where it was utter silence and there's no chance anybody was going over and kind of laughing it up with somebody after the race. There's been a monumental shift in that. And I would even say it started, remember that first photo we got of Eli and Ken Roczen on a private jet together?
Yeah.
That was like, wait, what? And it just seemed like that was kind of the first salvo of just where we are these days. Like maybe Deegan and Jett bring it back. Maybe that's the swing the other direction to the days of old. But right now it seems like these guys, as long as nobody does anything stupid and really puts each other in jeopardy or unsafe, these guys are happy, and there's a lot of respect shared amongst these guys. I think there was respect years ago, but they didn't share it with each other. And that's the big difference now, is these guys actually vocalize it to each other.
Yeah, I think even Sexton, who rides that emotional roller coaster, I think it's been a little more steady with battling Jett. If he beats Jett, which he did in a few motos, or if he loses to him, I even think that doesn't have quite the raw edge that it did 2 years ago when Jett first showed up in the class. And you're down there, JT. Do you agree with that? I don't think it's quite what it was.
No, it's not. It's just a different time. I think Webb, when he's locked in, still kind of has those old school vibes, and he's not scared to get chippy with people. But it's just different down there now. Like I remember the opening round of Pro Motocross, Jett Lawrence and Jorge Prado were talking and laughing, and these guys were at the time thinking they were going to go toe to toe for this 450 Pro Motocross Championship, and we know it didn't go that way. But that would have never, ever, ever happened years ago. You imagine telling like Bradshaw or RJ back in their heyday that they'd be chumming it up down on the starting line right before, like they would never ever go for that. Like it's just a different era. Personalities have changed, and that aspect of racing has changed a little bit.
All right, shout out to the sponsors here. That's Monster. I'm wearing a Motosport shirt. I don't know how high I can get the logo there. Also, Engine Ice, Maxima, and Fly Racing, JT, on board. Let's talk about Fly Racing's own Monster Energy Supercross champion, Cooper Webb. Why are we not talking about Cooper Webb more? He is a Supercross champ. Why are we not talking about him more? I don't even know if he wants to be talked about that much. Steve, JT, who wants to go first on why I think we're guarded with our Webb expectations for this playoff?
Well, I just want to say before we get too far into this, Weech has a long-standing history on the Racer X preview shows of absolutely crapping on a top rider, and he's continuing the tradition here on the SMX preview. So good job, Weech. I don't even know if it's intentional anymore. You just do this. We are 23 minutes in. The number one seed has not been mentioned, not been talked about. You just went right over him again. It's unbelievable, but we'll get to him, I guess.
Somehow, maybe I could just list all the names on this paper.
Just
get all the names said within 30 seconds. So
make everyone feel okay, like listen, I'll talk about Cooper, but Cooper Webb. We'll wait on the number one seed, I guess, further down. Yeah, maybe after Chiz and Freddie, we can mention him. But listen, there is not much buzz about Cooper Webb, right? He's a Supercross champ. Yeah, there really isn't. It's funny because I did a show earlier today. JT was a guest on it, and I didn't even make a note about him to bring him up. Like I brought up Ken Roczen and I brought up Justin Cooper. Yeah, I think he should be in the mix. Like if we're going to talk about Ken Roczen, we should definitely
Hey, you're
talk
jacked
about
up the way you leave certain riders out of your shows. It's jacked up.
Yeah, so like Webb is the Supercross champion, obviously coming back off that knee injury he had in Pro Motocross. Listen, last year SMX didn't go well for him. It was all right. So yeah, he's got something to prove. And listen, one thing about Coop, I think we all know this. That dude loves money. I mean, we all like money, and we just mentioned, but I feel like Cooper Webb's more like, give me some of that dough. I'm getting ready to check out. So he should be extra motivated to do it. I don't know if this format suits him, right? Think about Supercross and how he wears dudes down as the track breaks down with whoops and all of that. These tracks aren't that way. There's like in Charlotte, there's one big rhythm, and then it's like a motocrossy and some easy stuff. And then St. Louis, I guess, will be more Supercrossy, but no whoops. And Vegas doesn't suit him either. So I don't know if the tracks suit Cooper Webb and his ability to be a closer, quote unquote. But yeah, man, I don't feel like we're talking about him enough.
I think it's fair to mention him, but I also think the lack of hype is earned. Honestly, there have been 12 motos now. We're calling these motos for these playoff rounds. He has one podium finish out of 12 motos.
Really?
He's
He's got one podium in SMX.
One podium moto.
Not overalls. We're talking the 6 races.
He
So
got third in the last Coliseum race in 23, and that's it.
So
Yep.
when you look at his
That's after
results,
Sexton wadded it up.
yeah.
Yep.
when you look at the tracks, you make a great point, Steve. You know, what does he do well? Cooper Webb excels when the track starts to break down and he can utilize 180 bull berms to get inside of where everybody else is and shorten the racetrack up, get great starts, and really pounce on people late. Well, these tracks don't have any of that. There really are no 180s. The track's fast. There's really nothing for him to kind of sink his teeth into as far as his specific skill set. So it doesn't mean he can't be top 5 or something, but if you're going to take away somebody's biggest asset, it's really hard for them to be the best in the world at it. You know, like that's what I see and why the challenge is so difficult for him, because he has a very specific edge on people. And in a sea of people with endless talent, if you're not going to allow him to use that, how is he going to be able to beat these guys? And I think he would be the first to tell you that his window of beating people is mental edge, and he has these things we talk about, right? Like the way he sets his bike up, these things. I think the mental edge only matters if you're there late. And if you can't turn quick enough lap times to be there late, it kind of doesn't matter. So I think it's perfectly okay to say that, you know, Webb's going to be on the outside looking in of the race wins and the fight at the very front. And I don't really see a reason for that to change other than possibly St. Louis. Like St. Louis, if you told me he got good starts, I'll tell you he'll be in the fight. But I don't think for Vegas or Charlotte, you're going to see anything different than what you've seen.
The thing with Webb, I think, is exactly what you mentioned, JT. He's got to be there to he's got to be close to make that difference, right? And he hasn't raced since what, Redbud? That's a long time. And Charlotte's obviously a hometown race for him and everything else. I get it, but man, you can't help but think he's going to come in a little rustier than everybody else. Even Roxon just raced and got ready for Unadilla. Yeah, just
not 100% too. You know, like, I mean, he was off the bike for over a month, and he's probably going to have about 3 weeks back on it. You know, like there's a lot working against him in this scenario to say he's going to be in the fight. So yeah, we kind of skip over him, but I think it's warranted. I really do. You know, like the best thing he could do for himself is to make sure he starts top 3 every single time. If he doesn't get good start, I think he will get good starts, but if he doesn't, man, I don't see how he's going to move forward on these type of tracks when he's not even able to utilize the things that he does best.
You know what? You mentioned, Steve, that Coop doesn't deny that he likes to make the money. I think the strategy for Webb, I don't think he thinks he's going to win this. Yes, that'd be nice to make the full $1 million. But just as an example, 4th pays $200,000. 5th in the series pays $150,000 after 3 races. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Maybe I'll get 4th. Maybe I'll make $200,000 in 3 weekends. I'll take it. I think that's how the money works for Coop in this situation. Supercross, it's like, I can win this title. I'm going for the max, and I will go to the wall to do it. I don't know if he feels that way about these three on these types of tracks.
Well, the individual payouts are really good each weekend too. So,
Yes.
if he say he gets 150, 200, if he does end up third, fourth, fifth in the series, that means he's going to be somewhere around there each weekend, which probably is another 50K. So I'm kind of with you. I think he's wily enough and he's self-aware enough to know where he's going to excel and where he's not. But this is a good way to get kind of racing legs back under him, rack up some dollars, and get ready for these off-season races where, let's face it, he's going to rack up some more dollars, and that's why he's going.
I mean, hey, let's face it, too. In these playoffs where no one gets eliminated, where every game, quote-unquote, is worth more, that's like saying the Blue Jays won Game 3, but it's actually worth 2 wins, so they win the series. Anyways, if
Hey,
Coop
they do it
has
worse. You can win the first game, and then the next game, the score starts at 0-0. It's unbelievable. You don't get anything.
Yeah. So if Coop wins Vegas and something bad happens to a Lawrence brother, guy could walk away with way more money than he thought because, one race really can change things. 1 out of the 3 really changes things.
Wow. It's like Game 7 deciding everything. Or the Super Bowl deciding everything.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But yet no one gets eliminated. We just keep playing on.
Could you try
He would need
harder?
4 guys to get hurt if he's 5th going in, so it still matters what happened.
I'm not sure if you could try any harder to not like this.
I just said
really putting in an effort.
I like the format, the 2 mains. I like the money for riders and teams. Great job. I like having some motocrossy and a supercross thing. I do wish I loved the first year. Charlotte was a mix. I had a lot of guys complaining about their bike setup, which I loved. Suck it, everybody. Then we went to Chicago, and that was moto-y, and it was very motocrossy. Love it. A little dark, sure, but very moto-y. And then we go to Coliseum, which is pure supercross and an historic venue. Really thought they nailed tracks 1, 2, and 3 in year 1. I'd like to see them go back to that. We're not doing exactly that going the last year or this year, but hey,
I think St. Louis is going to be
the hybrids and a more supercross in the middle, I guess.
Yeah.
I think as traditional as St. Louis is going to feel, because I do believe outside of a big set of supercross loops, it's going to feel like a supercross. You look at the track map, it feels like round 13. We're going to St. Louis. I think it's going to be awesome. I just don't think it's going to be super hybrid feeling. I think the most interesting aspect of that round will be what is the dirt, because everybody loves St. Louis dirt. Everybody talks about it. Can't wait to get there. What's the dirt like there in September, though? After baking in the summer, for months and months, it's not going to be that soft, really supple dirt that we're used to. I think it's going to be a lot more hard packed than riders are expecting for St. Louis.
And you got Anton sleeping on it in the summer and stuff too. So I just want more of the hybrid stuff being brought back. I like that idea. So.
All right, you want to talk about the number 1 seed. I'll let you do that, Steve. Again, thanks to the sponsors, Monster, Motosport, Maxima, Fly Racing, and Engine Ice. You talk about Justin Cooper. And then after that, I'm going to show you the field toward the back. These are the guys that are just made it in, like the Valentin Guillaume, Mitchell Harrison group. And the riders, it's going to be all time in the wild card race, Steve, for riders fighting to get in. I'm going to talk about that when you're done talking about Justin Cooper, who, yes, it took us more than half of this hour to talk about him.
Well, look, we've seen the gap between first and second in these SMX races do matter by the end of the final round. So Justin Cooper has that 3 points up on Jett. Let's say Jett's gone though, and he does what we think he's going to do. Well, now Justin Cooper has what? 5 on Hunter, 6 on Hunter, who should be theoretically.
Malcolm Stewart is 3rd. He's got
I know. I'm saying Hunter's further down. So
he's got like 8 on Hunter.
Right. Okay, so 8. He's got 8 on Hunter. We expect. Throw a blanket over Chase, Hunter, Eli, Kenny. Throw a blanket. Whoever starts, however happens, Jett's place. Now we have Justin Cooper though with the 8 points up on Hunter Lawrence. Do I expect Hunter to beat him? Probably, but now he's got that 8-point gap to play with. I think he could go into the final round in Vegas with a definite shot at second to this thing if it plays out the way I want to, thanks to those 8 points, thanks to Justin Cooper's hard work all year long and being seeded number 1. He's a great starter, as we know. He will do Justin Cooper things, I think, at all 3 of these rounds, which will mean anywhere from 2nd to 5th, and he'll be in the battle.
It might make the difference, kind of like Cooper Webb style. It might make the difference of maybe that number 1 seed doesn't result in him being the champ, but it could be the difference in being 3rd as opposed to 6th.
Yeah, I
just more money there.
I just said that.
Yeah.
This could be a couple $100,000 difference for Justin Cooper being seeded number 1. And he'll lose, say, he could lose to Hunter Lawrence or Eli Tomac at all 3 rounds and still beat them in overalls.
No.
Triple points in the last round.
I don't think so. No, too many points. I think the points are going to be his biggest bugaboo. Like, I think he'll do well. He will have an advantage starting ahead. But I don't think that's going to be enough to really have him in the championship fight. If he could be 3-4, that would be really good. I just think he's never won Monster Energy Supercross. He's come close. We've seen it. I just think the guys at the very top, when Chase is on, when Jett's on, the way Hunter's been riding, I just think those guys have a little bit more than he does. And I think we're going to see that show up again. So,
you think there's a lot of difference in Supercross between Hunter Lawrence and Justin Cooper? Supercross now. You think there's a much difference?
No, but we're not going to be racing Supercross. So I just think Hunter's riding a little bit more, a little bit better than Justin Cooper is. Like Hunter's results have simply been better consistently for months now. In
motocross, yes, but you just finished saying St. Louis is a pure Supercross outside of Whoops, which Justin Cooper and Whoops don't really match well anyways. So if we got one round,
though, for some reason he's not been good in these SMX.
Well, sure I don't have the history of his results in front of me. I was surprised you said Cooper Webb only made 1 podium in 2 years of racing. But
dude, Justin Cooper was in the 250 class the first year. He did nothing. He was a non-factor. It was. We talked about Shimoda, we talked about Deegan, and we talked about Hunter. We talked about Jordan Smith. I don't know. It's small sample size. Maybe Justin Cooper is way better this year, but he hasn't done much on these tracks for whatever reason.
But if just heads up right now, I would just ask you, Steve, in a heads up race anywhere, which guy are you taking right now?
Well, are we going motocrossing, supercrossing, or super motocrossing? What are we doing?
Talking about playoff rounds because super motocross is the entire thing.
Okay, then I think it's going to be a lot closer than what we saw outdoors.
Okay, that'll make it exciting. And credit to you,
even after how great Hunter was last year at these specific things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to close our discussion here at the top. We mentioned Roxon. I just want to mention Malcolm Stewart because he's 3rd. Credit to him. He did all the races this year. Here's my question. We all believe Jett Lawrence is the favorite. Will Hunter Lawrence be 2nd again or closest to Jett or maybe even win? Or is someone going to jump him? He was the 2nd best in SMX last year, and he was the 2nd best in motocross this year. Is Tomac, Sexton, Roxon, Malcolm, Justin Cooper, one of those guys? Will they leap Hunter, or is Hunter the closest to Jett of anybody?
Hold on. Let me ask you, Weege. So I don't think JT agrees with me on this. Do you think, Weege, that Ken Roxon can get an overall podium at one of these 3?
Because of the injury, man, I'm not sure.
Really? Okay. I say yeah. I say yeah. I'm not saying he will.
I would say yes. Can he?
Yeah, but you seem a little more down on it as far as that goes. Then of course he can. Anything can happen,
but he's not on the form he was on. Like the 2023.
I know, but it's Kenny.
Is not the guy we have right now.
It's Kenny, dude.
I know. He was great 2 years ago. He was, but then last year it wasn't as good. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. So back to your question, Weege. No.
Is Hunter the closest?
Sexton.
Hunter actually the closest challenger to Jett?
Sexton.
Sexton is. Okay. What do you think, JT?
Steve just said that Justin Cooper was as good as Hunter. So you can't possibly think he's going to say he's as good as Jett. So
I'm going with Hunter. I think Hunter's actually just like last year. He's probably not talked about enough. I really like Tomac. I think Tomac's great on these types of tracks, the fast tracks. But I think Hunter, once again, is probably undervalued with how good he actually is and how close he is to his brother. What do you think, JT?
Yes, and I'll say mostly because of the starts. I just think Hunter's going to put himself in position to succeed time and time and time again. I do think Jett's going to win this thing. I think Jett wins it again. but I think Hunter is going to be there, sitting there, and we're gonna be talking about him because of. I always talk about like a plus situation, right? Like we're going to come around the end of the first lap, and Hunter's going to be right there in striking distance. And if anything goes wrong, guess what? Nothing really seems to go wrong for Hunter. That's how you have 22 top fives in a row to start your 450 career. Is you're always out of harm's way, and that's what we're going to get again.
Yeah, when I say Chase will beat him, I mean flip a coin. I'll just go Chase because he won a moto not that long ago. Yes, Jett hit the gate, but so I'll just go Chase Sexton, but flip a coin. 55-45, you know.
Can you tell me what kind of starts Chase is going to get? Because I'll tell you right there. If Chase,
good ones,
if Chase starts top 5 every time, it's on.
Yeah, good ones, and then his shock may fade, and he'll launch his bike into the stands. But other than that, he'll be right there.
Oh wow. Okay, last part of the 450 discussion. I swear to you, YouTube chat, we will talk about Deets. We will get to the 250s. I now have, I believe, a list that's pretty realistic of who is going to race in the wild card race. It's playoffs, so they call it wild card. It's LCQ.
I know both of you. Both of you. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Both of you are expecting me to launch into some sort of tirade about nope. Don't care. I don't care. Wild card is fine. LCQ is fine. I don't care. I'm not just a stick in the mud traditionalist guy. I don't care.
Could we maybe ask Feld to change the LCQ at Anaheim to the wildcard race, and then would you light the building on fire?
That could be a possibility, yes, because this is guys who have raced all year long to be wild cards for the seeded 20. So it makes sort of sense, right? It kind of fits together. So
I think I got it, Weege. He has such a distaste for the playoffs that he doesn't care that they change a name within them.
Oh, it's like its own wild card. Yeah.
Listen, nothing can be worse than the Charlotte press box. It starts with that. Opening round, Charlotte press box, and it goes downhill from there.
It did. He was very grumpy over the press box, and I don't think it's going to get better this year. So, Steve, the reason I want to talk about this wild card group is you had Dean Wilson on your show last Monday, Pulp MX. You asked if he was going to do SMX playoffs this year, and he said no.
Yeah.
Now I got a list, and his name is on it, and his guy Yariv, who owns the Quadlock Honda team, said Dean is in. So I love it. This is the classic. These guys see a dangling couple $1,000 in front of them, and they're like, you know what? I'm in. Chiz is back. Chiz off the couch is back. Who else? Grant Harlan broke his leg. Back.
No,
back.
Harlan's in?
Cody Schock just missed. He's in. And so is Benny, and so is Freckle, Mitch Oldenburg.
Wait, Hardog's in?
Hardog.
I didn't know.
I don't know if he's taping the leg together or what, but he's racing.
So I have some thoughts.
To the motorcycle like Pastrana did on an 85.
I'm in a group text with a bunch of guys, and it doesn't seem like Chiz has been riding a ton. Okay. So I know we like saying Chiz is going to be chizzing, and I get it, but doesn't seem fully ready to go. Dean needs like the Tin Man. They got to grease up his joints, and hopefully he makes it. And he won't have to stop for oil. Let's hope. I don't see any way how Bloss or Freckle miss any main events. They're taking 5. I believe we're going 5 from these wild card races.
Yep.
I don't see how any one of those guys don't make it. And that's my initial thoughts on the wild card race.
And Shock. I think Shock's a shooter.
Oh, and Shock. Yes, sorry. Shock is a great starter. Yes, Shock gets in.
Yep. JT, that is a spicy group, though.
Yeah, to say that those are the only 5 and no one else is getting in is like saying
no. I didn't say that.
One of these wild card or
I just
LCQ
3.
In your life.
No, 3. I got 3 locks.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be more chaotic than that.
Dude, there's no way Benny Bloss will throw it away. There's no chance Benny just gets a great start and then just throws it away. There's no way.
We're going to move on after that. Moving on. No way. Yeah, there's no way Benny is going to be riding the best laps of his life and then he's down. That could never happen.
No.
Okay, sponsors again. It's Monster Energy on top of our show as usual. I had a hat back here. I don't know what fell. Fly Racing, thanks for the helmet. Also, motosport.com. I just got a new spark arrestor for a TTR 110. It's a 2008 model that I think sat in somebody's shed for like 15 years, and Motosport had everything I need. to put it back together.
And did
use
you
them all the
install
time, don't
this?
you, Steve?
Did you install this?
No.
Okay.
No. I called Sean Ulikowski, who worked with Brighton and worked for JGR and Travis Preston and all that. Have you used them before, Steve?
Yeah, motorsport.com, free shipping over $79, dedicated team of gearheads there. Thank you, Motorsport.
JT, signing of the year was Fly Racing picking up Cooper Webb when some people weren't even putting him highly ranked on preview shows, and he went out and won the Supercross title. What's Fly got going right now? You launched the 2026 gear at Washougal.
Well, we have a big project. I can't really spill the beans yet, but there will be a big project for this weekend. So again, I'm not really doing anybody any favors here because I'm telling you something I can't talk about. But there will be something super exciting happening this weekend for the opener. So
I know what it is.
We can watch for
I
that.
know what
like
it is. I know what it is.
You're on the
okay.
inside.
Also, by the way, before we get too far into this, thanks to MX Reference, I specifically asked my guy MX Reference to do this for me. Last year, 4 riders in the 250 class qualified for all 3 rounds out of the wild card race, and that's in the 250 class. And in the 450 class, 3 riders made all 3 rounds. So we do see, once your momentum, once you're a good starter, you can get into all 3. We have multiple riders that made all 3 races. So I do think, if you're riding well and you're feeling good, then Benny, Mitchell, Schock can make all 3.
It depends, though. Like McAdoo was in last year. Sometimes you get guys that were hurt, and they're far superior to the other riders in there, and they're going to make it happen.
Well,
like McAdoo, or I guess
like Phil
in that category, year 1.
Yeah,
Phil,
dominating.
yeah. But okay, so yeah. Well, listen, we got Talon Hawkins, McAdoo, Jett Reynolds, and Lux Turner all made all 3
last year.
Yeah, last year. So, I wouldn't put Lux Turner or Jett Reynolds into that mix, or Hawkins for that matter. But anyways, that's my point, is once you're on a roll, once you're feeling good, you get some starts, you can make it. They're taking there's only 10 guys on the line for these wild card races, I believe. They didn't add more, right? It's 10?
No. Well, they're trying to invite people. It's not like
they are?
hard number.
Okay.
But yeah,
all right. Well, I'm just saying we're going 5 out of 10, 5, so 50% of the field's making it, right? And anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of 250 guys missing. We're going to talk 250 class. I also want to mention Engine Ice. It's the first time they back one of these shows. High performance coolant, keeping power sports machines running cool. It is pre-mixed, ready to use, half-gallon bottles, saves you time, and it's coolant swap time. I don't know how to swap coolant, but I guess this would make it easier. How do you drain it, Steve? How do you drain it?
JT's used Engine Ice since probably 1991.
So I was the first ever paid athlete by Engine Ice.
Wow.
$200. And I didn't know what it was. And they said, hey, will you run these stickers for $200? And I said, I'll drink it for $200. I don't even know what that is. And off we went.
Wow.
Hey, I have a question.
2000. Was that about then? Does that mean you?
2000. Yep, that was in 2000.
It specifically means JT with Engine Ice.
Do you guys, Justin Hill, does he know?
Good point.
Is he showing up? He's in. Is he going to be there? How does he do? How was his prep?
You had Schock riding through banners, looping his bike out to get in. Harrison's bike blew up. There was just disgust and sadness on his team owner's face. Guillaume doing everything he can, counting the points. What was Justin Hill, who was also in that mix, doing that day?
Surfing or hunting or whatever. Also, good news for Monster Energy Kawasaki. Prado, he's qualified. He can't not make it. He's going to line up. Congrats to Dan Fahey and everybody.
Good news.
Yes, because the last time he raced, he tried to not qualify. They cannot do that for SMX. He's in.
I'll believe it when I see it. I have no idea what to think of the Prado-Kawasaki relationship at this point. I think he wanted to get out of his deal so he could race Donations on another bike. That's not going to happen. Does that mean, yes, he'll be at SMX on a Kawasaki? I don't know.
Also, I meant – no, wait. I meant to text you guys. Give me a sleeper in 450 class. Give me a sleeper guy. I'll start because I forgot to text you guys to pick somebody. Joey Savacci.
Oh.
Been missing for a long time.
Yep.
Good season. He's been – okay, so Zacho's super biased. Zacho said he's ripping.
Yeah, Zacho's his trainer, which is the craziest turn of events ever.
Yeah.
Zacho and Joey
and also Zacho's a little off his rocker, as we know. So,
yes.
But Zacho says he's ripping. He's coming back in. Joey likes money. Could we see a 6th, 7th from Joey Savacci, which I think would qualify as a sleeper pick. Yes, we could.
The field is deep because I got a sleeper who I don't want to leave people out of the show. We haven't even talked 250s yet, and I got like 10 minutes to wrap this up. RJ Hampshire could be really good. He's just not ranked high.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count as a sleeper. He doesn't count.
Why
as a
not?
Sleeper. He just got on the podium. All of that 450 nationals. Yeah,
These rules on sleepers, man. I want you to write a book on it. I want to actually be able to visualize.
RJ is going to be really good.
I will go my sleeper, and it's going to be a little unorthodox, but bear with me. My sleeper, and it's a sleeper because of the specific result. I think that Chase Sexton is going to win the opener. That is my sleeper
God.
pick. That's a sleeper pick. Like if I just said Chase is going to be good, that's not a sleeper. But to call it out to win the opener, I think that's the qualifier.
If Jett loses the front end and goes 4-1, then Chase wins with a 1-2 or 1-3. Like I don't know. Whatever.
I would still qualify that as pretty surprising.
Savacci's going to kill it. Like whatever.
No, you can't pick. That's my sleeper. You can't pick my sleeper. You got to pick your own. JT picks Mitchell Harrison. JT picks Mitchell Harrison.
Okay.
No, I don't.
We saw Chase Sexton walking off an Ironman, and I think people thought that day, maybe you'll never see him ride a KTM again. If his next race in a KTM is a win, that qualifies as something.
It qualifies. Beat it, Steve.
Beat it. Okay. 250 class. We're on YouTube, man. The people love Deegs, but here's the problem. There's not much to say about Deegs. He's the best guy. He's been the best guy. He was the best guy last year. He's the best guy this year. He told me last week that these tracks are actually the best for him because he admitted he's still not that good at whoops. So he's like, you give me a Supercross track without whoops, it's even better. I don't know what really there is much more to say about Deegs. What more is there to say about the 250s? JT, anything?
Yeah, I mean, Deegs is going to be great. We know that. But I think Joe has to be in the conversation. When you say Deegs, you have to talk about Joe because they have really been the 1-2 story of the whole summer. And for Joe, he gets to reset the score. And he's been really good in these playoffs. Like that is an underreported story, is that since inception, Joe Shimoda has been fantastic in these playoffs. He was a lap away from winning the inaugural championship in 23. Like we don't really talk about that, but that is factual. Last year, coming off a broken collarbone with virtually no prep, he was on the podium like every time. So the way he's riding right now and the way he's performed in the past at these playoffs on worse form than he is now, why wouldn't I think he's going to be in the fight? The question is that good enough to beat Deegan? I don't know. It hasn't been in a championship yet, but this is the best we've seen him ride. And he's got to be like, this is my shot. I'm not dealing with a 40-point deficit anymore. I've got to step up and make it happen right here, right now.
I think the one shot he has, I still think Deegan's better. Joe really started to get the starts dialed. Deegan, he's borderline not a good starter. I'm not going to say he's a bad starter, but he hasn't been lights out so far in his pro career. If you have 6 motos and you start ahead of the guy 5 out of 6 times, that's the only chance I think he has. And I still think Deegan gets it done. But
I might have agreed with you until we just saw Deegs catch Joe from ways back in Ironman. I really thought Joe was going to.
Last year, Deegs started like 12th and still won.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it matters, Weege, because so this weekend's a split start. So the worst you can do is 10th. Yeah. I don't think it matters, man. I just don't. Yeah. Hashtag Deeg Nation.
Do we start talking about Deegs versus Jett next year, or do we do
that
now? Or
no, we can't. No,
no. Okay.
Is Mosman racing?
No. Mosman's out.
So they're going to take 6 then from this LCQ. Wild card. Sorry, Sean. Wild card.
And it's a wild group. Like Anstey's back, but he's in the wild card. A couple other 250 guys I want to talk about here. First of all, Cowie supposedly figured some part out with the primary gear inside the transmission. They suddenly fixed the starts. Maybe at the very end of the year at Buds, what if Levi Kitchen could get starts and Marchbanks could get, I'm not saying his starts are going to be good, better.
Weege, you just took my sleeper pick. You just took my sleeper pick, Levi Kitchen.
March?
No,
Kitchen?
Levi. Yeah, I think he's.
JT, are you following this? Levi Kitchen, factory monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki multi-time race winner, is allowed to be a sleeper.
Guy that was on the podium at Budds Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, the podium guy in 250 class at Budds Creek is now sleeper.
Yep.
Okay.
I've been talking to Levi a little bit. I think the outdoors, he just was over it, not happy with the bike, can't quite figure it out. He never led one lap all season outdoors, which is really weird. And I think he's hitting a hard reset button. He did admit the Daytona crash got to him a little bit. I like the bike stuff we just mentioned. So yeah, I think Levi Kitchen will be a guy for these SMX rounds.
Wow. Bold.
I'll take Hammaker in that sleeper arena.
No, you can't. Nope. Not a sleeper.
Sure can. You just took Levi Kitchen.
This is, I don't know where we are anymore. Hammaker and Beaumer are two guys that have been saying, I'm focused on SMX. I think they both know they're not as good, at least at this stage of their career, at motocross. They are remembering back to the winter and the spring, how good they were in Supercross. Now, is it Supercross? Not exactly, but it's closer than the outdoors are. I'm a little worried Beaumer was kind of a game time decision. KTM announced today he's in. He passed concussion protocol because he went down pretty hard at Buds. But I don't know if they can beat Deegs, but at least they're telling themselves, and in their mind, they're thinking, I can win this thing.
Dude, I'm not going with a guy that was concussed at round 4, I think, of the Nationals, then concussed at round 11.
Yeah.
And then they say he passed the concussion test, so he's racing. Like, sorry, I'm just out on that. Good for Juju, or and all of that, but I'm just out on him being a guy based on those injuries. But if you want to tell me that Levi or Hammaker thinks the longer – he talked about what he was dealing with health-wise, but these are shorter races. So I'm in on Hammaker, but out on Beaumer, but in on Kitchen.
I would put Davies ahead of Beaumer in the
yes.
Who are we not thinking about guy for that conversation?
I have one question about Davies, though, JT. Davies is unbelievable in whoops.
Yep.
They're out. No whoops.
That's okay.
There was no whoops at Budds Creek, sir.
I don't think it's going to matter because
he got third.
Wow.
His starts are spot on. That's a big coup for him, and his technical expertise, I think, goes a long way in these particular types of races. So, I just think it was kind of a breakthrough, that first moto at Budds Creek. And if you tell me he starts 12th, then all bets are off. Yeah. But the starts are going to put him into position to excel, and nobody's going to be thinking Davies might win one of these things, and I think there's a chance that he might.
Oh, you don't think people are thinking he could win? I do, but
I just don't think in opening ceremonies people are going to be like talking about Davies, and then he's going to grab a hole shot, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh yeah, forgot about him."
Okay, can I ask a dumb question? I hope no one from Feld is listening.
They always are.
Davies doesn't go to the gate 17th for the first main event in Charlotte, does he?
No, it is.
No,
if you're in the top 20, it's regular qualifying.
Got it. That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so he did end up with a good gate pick.
Yeah, might be a dumb question, but it wasn't. Does anybody know if Tom Vial is going to elect to race all 6 of these?
It's a bummer, too, because kind of like Beaumer, who I thought might be good here, and you're right, with the concussion, you're certainly worried about Beaumer, and that's fair to say. I think Vial is good on these types of tracks. I know that reputation is that every Grand Prix track is Unadilla or Lommel, but JT, you've been to some other ones. They build tracks in parking lots. These hybrid tracks, I think he's good at these. But then after what happened in Ironman, I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, and I look at Ironman. Listen, I don't love the decision to not race. That was not really my MO at all. But I think you just have to put it aside, and he's going to look at these 3 rounds as a chance to make a lot of money before he goes back to Europe for the winter and for we'll see if he ever comes back. For the medium term, anyway, he's going back to Europe.
Yeah.
There was really nothing to gain for him at Budds Creek. Points were done. He wasn't going to win the overall. So I think he was kind of looking at it as there was a lot of downside. And if you can get past the part where you're quitting on the team and just going home. Listen, I understand why you're laughing.
If you can just get past that part, just get past.
No, I'm saying if you're him, which he clearly did. He just said, I don't want to do this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There wasn't a lot of upside past that other than just the obligation to go racing, where here there's a ton of upside. So just in that binary sense of upside and why would he care, there's a lot of reasons to care about these races. So, yeah, I think he'll be locked in.
2 things. I heard KTM was very mad. They were not cool with that.
I would be pissed too.
Yes.
Your Honor, if you could just look past past me
If you're him,
stealing this money from the bank, if you could just look past it.
introspectively,
I know.
his own self getting past it. I'm never getting past it. I hate that move. I'm saying for him.
The issue they've been saying, and I think Bomera's mentioned it too, they had some problem outdoors where the shock was fading, at least in a 20-minute race, not on a motocross track. That should not, at least a mechanical problem, shouldn't be a problem at these races. But yes, there are some other hurdles they have to clear.
I mean, look, if you're an American motocross fan, and I just got my citizenship, so that's me. If you're an American motocross fan and you see Prado and Vial, again, Vial not anywhere near what Prado's doing, but still just straight up not. I mean, dude, you're gonna get some backlash from fans of the sport, like because you brought up Eli Tomac's example, like you're gonna get some backlash, man. Yeah, you really are. And so those guys can't sit back and be like, oh, the fans are picking on me. Like, dude, you know, all we want is a guy like Kenny. Like, everyone loves Kenny. Not American. Everyone loves Kenny. Guy tries his balls off. You know, so if you're Prado and Vial, I think they have some work to do to mend some fences. Now, maybe Vial doesn't care, but
maybe I think we should maybe go a little easy on Vial. We've never seen this type of behavior from him before. Was this cool? No. Like, I don't want to ever see that happen again. But I just think, like, he's been a guy that's tried pretty hard for, you know, we really haven't seen this type of behavior ever before. So while I don't like it, I'm not going to crucify him. And I don't think you should say him and Prado in the same breath right now. That's all I'm saying.
No,
So
this is going to follow Vial around. I know, but this is going to follow Vial around, in my opinion. And by the way, I'm not saying he is 100% right on this shock issue. I've talked to people inside KTM. They have an issue. So Vial didn't make this up out of nowhere. But,
okay.
But you think that Prado's summer and Vial's summer are worthy of being in the same breath right now?
No, I just think for fans, they just see it. They're like, oh, Vial didn't race the last moto. I mean, all of us and other media outlets are talking about it, right? So it's out there no matter what source you listen to. So
okay, so where do you qualify that with, like, Larry Ward riding around holding the kill switch in halfway around the track? So it sounded like his bike was messed up, but he was just tired in the last moto of the year. Like,
that's unfortunately in today's there's a lot of media stuff that if we'd covered it back in the day.
I just don't I don't like it. I'm not excusing it, but I'm not going to crucify him off of this one act.
I agree.
You know what Eli Tomac did in his very last race ever for Monster Energy Kawasaki? He won a moto at Fox Raceway. Wasn't even in the title hunt. That's a classy way to do it.
So I was just looking at, we're talking 250s, and I know I said Levi Kitchen could be a guy. I know, but we're talking 250s, and I said Levi could be a guy, and I get it. Yeah. I was just perusing the points, and this never really hit me before. But Joe is over 100 points back of Haiden overall in SMX, and Marchbanks is 120 back of Joe. So you want to talk about two dominant 250 riders in 2025, indoors, outdoors.
Yeah, and that's with the
Joe Schmoder and Haiden Deegan. Yes. Good point. Right, had a couple bad races in there. That gap is massive. Holy smokes! Marchbanks is 226 points back.
I do not want to visit this Vial thing again, but it's been that kind of season for most of the other 250 contender guys. Chance Hymas is out with injury. It's been a bad year for Kitchen. It's been a weirdo year outdoors, at least for Vial. He did win the Supercross title, et cetera, et cetera. It's been that kind of year. So that's why we didn't have as much talk about 250s. It's Deeg's world right now until someone proves otherwise. And that might not get proven until next year.
So we think
about that yet, right?
No, but we think there's going to be 6 then from 250s going into the wild card race. Weege, who's your sleeper?
In the 250 class?
Yes.
Can I pick Hammaker, or is he not qualify?
No, JT picked him.
Oh, so the factory rider is okay. It's
not okay, but you think I'm going to get JT to change his mind? You think he's going to go, okay, Steve?
I'll take Davies then.
Oh, my God. Okay, anyways, go ahead, Weege.
250s is harder to find a privateer because the teams are twice as large because of the greatness that is East-West Supercross. If you get rid of that, you get rid of half the jobs in the pits. So I'm going to pick a factory guy. I think Hammaker is going to remind everybody that could have, should have won a Supercross title.
But it's a ridiculous ask from Steve. There's no privateer that's going to come in and shock the world. That's not going to happen.
It doesn't. I didn't say privateer. I said sleeper.
You just said I can't pick the factory guy.
All over the map. It's all over the map.
By the way,
Hey,
Zach Osborne, sleeper.
Rob here from Club. How's Voland doing? How's the handbrake on a hybrid track? He gave a thumbs up. There you go, Voland. He was surprisingly good this year outdoors with the handbrake. He was like 7th in points. It was really good.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard, but he has a handbrake. Yeah, I don't know if you heard. Weege, Zacho said Thrasher, sleeper. Not a bad pick. Thrasher?
With Thrasher, you could tell us anything.
Right.
Any position 1st through 20th at the end of the night, would you be surprised?
Nope.
If Thrasher wins Charlotte, you'd be like, yep.
All I can tell you is
Thrasher,
if he does shock us, it's not going to be every time. He just does not what he does. He's all over the place. So there's no way if he comes out and crushes it that he's going to back it up consistently.
Is Hardy racing? Is Hardy in?
I have not seen his name on a list.
Okay, because he's 33rd. As you guys said, they're going backwards a little bit. So, yeah.
I'm looking at this wild card list. Well, there is one name that appears on this. Justin Rodbell, everybody. Powered by that awesome finish in the mud at Foxborough. He's the last guy in the wild card race as of today.
Really? Because Rod
remember, he got 4th. He got 4th in the mud.
How did Rod Bell? I don't know. I don't know how this works. Nobody knows how this works. But don't forget, it's super prestigious, but nobody knows how it works.
When it's out of the top 30, I think they put phone calls in and say, hey, 31st, you want to race?
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, but I mean, I see Hardy and Cole Thompson and Jack Chambers broke his leg, sorry. Mumford, nobody knows about. Gavin Towers. Gavin Towers is ahead of Rod Bell.
Towers still hurt. Thompson's in.
Oh. Linville?
Cheering for Thompson, your fellow Canadian.
Linville? I don't know. Anyways.
Linville's
Dudney?
in.
Albright?
Dudney's back for the World All-Stars. We've gone an hour and 10 minutes.
All right. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Fine.
And I'm going to take one comment from the chat. Congrats to you, Pepe, who said Rod Bell's going to go 2-1. I like it. Rod Bell for the overall.
And if there's any issues with the HVAC at the Speedway, Rod Bell can fix it.
Actually, now that I know he's going to be in town for the weekend, I might need another tune-up because he's already down here. Yeah, save me thousands of dollars. That's the show. I hope you enjoyed us doing this live. It certainly stressed me out. I don't know if we'll ever do this again. Thanks to Monster Energy, Motosport, Fly Racing, Engine Ice, and Maxima. Who's going to shine? Who's going to shine with Maxima, Steve?
Yeah, Jett and Deegs. Sorry. Not sorry.
Who's going to fly, JT?
Well, I picked Sexton to win the opener.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Deegs is too good, especially at the Charlotte round. He has been lights out at this race, so I think he'll win again.
I'm going to say if you need parts from Motosport, send some parts to Rod Bell because the more parts he has, the more races he does, the more chance he can go near my house and help with the HVAC. I have a new award here. We're going to call it the Engine Ice. Who's going to stay cool? I think it will be Cooper Webb again. I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm saying he's going to have 3 under-the-radar, solid finishes, collect a couple $100,000. See you in Anaheim. That'll be Cooper Webb, keeping it cool. Thanks to Engine Ice.
And I would like to apologize to Justin Cooper. Sorry, JC32. For
that he didn't. I should have started the show with him.
The disrespect you got in this episode. Sorry.
It's fair. I'm going to just read all the names next year. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks to our sponsors. The Race of the Day race starts at 2:30 with a pre-race show that you can watch on Peacock. 3 o'clock Eastern, the gate drops, and the great Justin Brayton and some guy named Adam Cianciarulo will be hosting the qualifying race day live coverage at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday on Peacock. JT and I will be on the track with Will Christian, and, well, you're on the track with Will. I'm in the booth with James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael. Steve, what are you doing?
I'll be in the crappy press box.
I think that says it all right there. See you guys.